Hello. Today we are going to be covering Seeker's Sky Veil. This is a free-to-play, top-down, hero-based extraction game. Wow, what a freaking mouthful. But you can play as a solo, duo, or trio. There are options to where you can fill or sort of matchmake to find some random teammates. When I started playing this a couple days ago, I did no fill just to play by myself to get a feel of the game before inviting my friends in. Speaking of which, the social system in the game is quite unique. I have not ran into this before in other games. Let me know if you guys have ever experienced this before. Basically, if you want anybody on your friends list, you have to connect your Discord to the game itself. In doing so, you'll see everybody that's online in your Discord friends list. If you get any DMs on Discord, it'll show up in game as a whisper. So be careful if you are a content creator or a streamer, you'll be leaking some DMs for sure. Unless you're covering that bottom left side of your screen with your cam. The developers of Seeker's Sky Veil recently pushed out an update to help out the solo and the duo players out there. No matter how big your party size is, you are in one map. So as a solo, you can run into duos, you can run into trios, and it just sucks. You know, it sucks because they can just run you down. However, the developers listened to the community's complaints and pushed out an update to which solos and duos get an extra buff in-game. That way they have a better chance at survival. A solo, if you're geared up and you're skilled, you could most definitely take down a duo. A solo versus a trio, however, is probably unlikely. You'll definitely have to outplay that, which is totally doable. Just gotta play your cards right. This game is incredibly MOBA-like. MOBA as in games like League of Legends, Mobile Legends Bang Bang, Dota, even Vault Breakers if you've played that. That's another MOBA-like extraction game. Contrary to most MOBAs, this game is WASD. I myself have played quite a bit of League of Legends over the years, but WASD is king. It's definitely way more comfortable controlling my character with WASD rather than clicking around. Characters in this game have 5 unique abilities. Left mouse button being your basic attack, right mouse button being your secondary attack, and QER for your major abilities with longer cooldowns. There are 12 different champions, or seekers that are called in this game, to choose from, with kits that fit into different play styles. Depending on what you like, you can play as a DPS, a support, or a tank. If you're a DPSer, congrats, there's tons of different choices for you. Tanks, you got a couple choices. One looking a little bit like Groot, and another that resembles Tahm Kench in League of Legends. Yes, he's also got a long tongue. Now, off of a fresh download, you won't have any characters unlocked. However, the Seekers go into a free rotation 6 per, which is an awesome way to test out some characters to make sure you actually like them before unlocking them. The game generously gives you enough essence to unlock one character of your choice. After that, you'll have to grind up for more of that essence in-game just by playing or purchasing the premium currency. Each character is around 10 USD. So what you can typically expect the game loop to be is put your base gear on, get your loadout set out, spawn in. Off spawn, you'll have all skills available to you except for your ultimate. After killing some mobs, you can upgrade those skills and eventually unlock your ultimate, which will help you a ton, especially for some PvP fights and the boss fights. You can look around the map for key icons on bosses. Those ones you eventually have to kill if you want to extract successfully. Each boss will drop you one key, which will allow you to activate a portal to extract with all of your gear. During the time that I played, there were some bosses that were quite difficult, especially since I was a baby gearlet. So be sure to hover over the boss icon and double check what gear requirement it is before going there and getting wrecked. There are 2 different types of extraction portals that you'll be able to find on the map. One being solo, which only requires 1 key, and the team extraction requires 3 keys. The game has a neat little function where after a portal is used, it'll change locations. That way, it's less of a chance that people are going to be camping there. Because you know how it is if you've played other extraction games. There's always a good chance that there's somebody camping the extraction points, trying to get that easy loot from you. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what extraction games are, you go in with gear of your own, get looted up, and if you die, you lose absolutely everything on you. If you extract successfully, you'll be able to come out with the extra loot that you found and the gear that you're wearing. A lot of extraction games have an insurance system. In this game, it is true as well. You can insure only one item. I would typically choose the one that's a little little bit harder to grind or the most expensive piece of item that you have, which will require you to use gold. And you can get that currency in-game just by playing. Go in and get some valuables, extra gear that you don't need once you get out of the match, and sell them to vendors in the lobby. The stuff that you do want to keep, you can keep it in your stash, and that's shared across your entire account. While I was playing some Seekers with my friends, I noticed that there is a mastery system for the characters themselves. The more you play that specific character, the higher the mastery. Does mastery do something for you? I have no idea. I tried to look that up and I tried to look in game. I didn't see if it has any benefit to you or is it just like a flex. What you can expect to find while you're in a match is different rarities of gear, artifacts, gemstones, backpacks, and belts. And the rarities go from gray, light green, dark green, blue to purple. It probably goes higher than that, but during my playtime, that's all I found. Gear pieces also have a chance to have sockets in them. And this is where the gemstones come in. You can put in various gemstones for additional defense, attack power, movement speed, etc. I'm unsure if you can switch around the gems freely. Depending on what tier you choose to play, they require different types of gear pieces. There are pieces specific to attack power and magic power, additional health, etc. But the most important thing is that tanks usually wear heavy gear. Most DPS use medium gear, and a lot of the casters and the one support character wears light armor. So an important thing to remember is that once you're out there looting and scooting, you could take back gear pieces that are incompatible to your current Seeker that you're using and just save it for if you are going to use them in the future, since your stash is account wide. If you're a loot goblin like me, you're definitely going to want to get bigger backpacks for more inventory slots and a belt to give you more inventory space for your consumables specifically. Currently in Seeker Skyvale, there are 2 maps available. The first map is called Blooming Grove. It has a lower gear requirement from 100 to 300. So you cannot go in with less than 100, but trust me, it's really easy to hit that gear requirement. If you happen to die and lose all of your gear and your stash is completely empty, gray gear is extremely cheap to buy from the vendors. In the beginner map, you'll typically find gray or green items, especially from bosses and chests, and it took me around 4 to 5 runs to get all green gear to be eligible to get into the second map called Ancient Vale. That one has a higher gear score requirement at 250 to 450, so if you don't have a minimum of 250, the game literally doesn't let you queue up for it. But let me tell you, this map is where you want to be. It has stronger bosses and mobs to fight, of course. Getting better gear is so much easier once you do hit that 250 threshold and be able to go into the secondary map. You just find blues and purples everywhere. I've only done the secondary map in a team of 3, and I highly suggest you find yourself a team to play in for the secondary map too. It would be really, really hard to defeat the bosses or elites alone. Not to mention, a lot of the folks in there are well above 400 gear score. However, my squad went in there with the bare minimum, so let me tell you, when we saw those blues and purples, we were fiending for more. Gold is the main currency that you will be using to purchase gear, upgrading shops, and whatnot, but it's extremely easy to gain some gold. You can find valuables to sell for raw gold. As I stated previously, you can use your gold to upgrade the vendors in the lobby menu. This will make the regearing process a lot less painful for you. This will allow you to buy bigger backpacks, better gear pieces, more gems. There are 4 main vendors that you want to upgrade depending on what Seeker you're playing, or if you can't decide on what to play, you're gonna need to upgrade all 4 vendors. The 5th vendor, however, you cannot upgrade, but that one is purely for cosmetics. And in that shop, you can buy things with in-game currency and the premium. Buying gear pieces in the vendor shops will not only cost gold, you'll also need some resources from your matches to craft certain pieces. But the really great thing about crafting resources is that it has its own separate inventory. So your inventory for loot and consumables, it's not all cluttered with, I don't know, say leather. They recently released a battle pass for Seekers Skyvale. I know, another battle pass, but there's a free and an upgraded version. Both versions give you plenty of resources, extra gear pieces that you want, and cosmetics. The pass is priced at $10.99 USD, so if you're into that, it's at a pretty reasonable price. On top of the battle pass, there is something called the adventure pass, which everybody can access. This is just something that'll give you a bunch of quests to do with different milestones that also gives you quite a bit of resources. It's kind of neat. I like it when these type of games do have quests quest so that you sort of have a goal to work towards and a reason to grind. I have been playing Seeker Skyvale for the past few days with some of my friends, even solo, and it's pretty darn fun. I will say it's a lot more fun in a trio or even a duo. Nobody likes being ran down as a solo versus a whole squad. It's never a fun experience. Pretty rage-inducing if you ask me. Unfortunately, the queue times are a tad bit longer than I expected. Typically for me, it has been the 2 to 3 minute mark, although I did get lucky a few times and it was an instant queue. I was like, oh my god, thank you. I just want to go back in and play. What I do hope the developers add into the game is more support characters or more characters in general. I know this will probably be a little bit of a slower process. They have to make sure everything is balanced, nothing is too OP. You know, a lot of MOBA games, once they do release a new character, that new character is completely OP, and that's like the only one that anybody ever plays. I'm also curious if the devs will decide to do seasonal wipes. As well in game, I did see that right now is season 1. They didn't do the whole season 0 type thing. I'm wondering if season 2 comes around and everybody gets wiped. I personally think it would be a good idea just because if you're playing this on a day-to-day basis, you're gonna start running out of things to do or like the motivation to grind, right? You're just gonna sit there with a full stash of blue and purples. So I think occasional wipes are healthy for extraction games. It just depends on the timing. After playing the game for about 10 to 15 hours, I am rooting for Seeker Skyvale, and I hope that they see some more success. Wishing that people would keep more of an open mind in trying these newer games or these smaller games. There are a lot of hidden gems. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!